They should be in here in about 5 minutes. So for the last time, I'm going to run through the logistical items that I know each of you look forward to. If you haven't already, please go ahead and silence your electronic devices. There is a wonderful Ncaa digital media hub that provides both ASAP quotes as well as video that's provided by Hammond Communications. No video is allowed within the auditorium with the exception of if you are a direct affiliation with the team, a team member. Photography is allowed. When we get in here, we'll get everybody settled. I'll do introductions. We'll take an opening statement from Coach, and then we will move to the Q&A portion for our student athletes. Once we finish that, we will allow them to go back to the locker room, and then we'll entertain questions for Coach. I think that's it. Thank you for being here. Oh, hi. I'm sorry, you're going to need to wait for the mic to arrive. Give us your name and affiliation.
Thanks for the opportunity.
I'm sorry?
Thanks for the opportunity.
Oh, loved it. Are we locked in on lunch or no?
Yeah, we are. Something.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, that's fun. No, right there. Have fun.
Yeah, thanks. Bye.
You bet. Absolutely.
Hi there. Yeah, no problem. I'll take this back if you get hungry. I've got a little stash down here. Just water though.
What?
It's just water though.
Oh, okay. No, I don't want water. I drink enough water.
We're going to hold for just a minute. Our student athletes are en route.
Okay, cool. Thanks. Thanks for, yeah. Love Dave. Yeah, no, that's good. Thanks.
It's a pleasure to introduce to the stage Creighton head coach Jim Flannery, as well as Tatum Rembow and Lauren Jensen. Coach, an opening statement when you're ready.
Sure. Obviously, congratulations to South Carolina. They were a lot better than us tonight, and they have a phenomenal team, a phenomenal program, and they, physically it was, we just didn't match up physically tonight, and didn't do some of the things probably that could have helped us there. But a lot of that had to do with us. I mean, it certainly wasn't our finest 2 hours, but credit goes to them, and they'll represent, I think, really well in the in the Final Four. To our team, just really been an unreal 10 days. But also just a tremendous season. We're super proud of what we accomplished and how we accomplished it. And that's what I just told him in the locker room. I think it's not just how we play on the court, it's who we are off the court. And I know that those two things kind of intertwine and affect each other. And I think that the love that our players have for each other helps us become a better basketball team. And then when you experience the joy of success on the basketball team, it bonds you off the court. So a lot of good things ahead for Creighton. Sad to see our 3 seniors go, but this season creates quite a legacy and expectations going forward. So it was again. We'll flush tonight and focus on all the great things that we did this year, and particularly in the last 10 days.
As a reminder, we'll take questions for our student athletes first. If you have a question, please let us get you the mic. We'll give you give us a name and affiliation, who your question's for. We'll take our first question right down here in the very front.
Joe Nugent, WOWT. This is for both Tatum and Lauren. Tatum first, if that's okay. Tell us what the challenge was like out there. What was difficult about playing and being successful tonight?
Obviously, they're a lot bigger than us. Their whole entire roster, they maybe have 2 girls that are smaller than our biggest girl. So we knew that going in. And we didn't start the game off great with scout defense, and they took advantage of it.
Yeah, obviously South Carolina is a great team. That's why they're the #1 overall seed. Like Tatum said, they are very big, very undersized in that category. I feel like there's times where we had all 5 blue jerseys in the paint going after boards, and they still somehow came out with the rebound. And so that was kind of a struggle for us tonight. And yeah, they're just a solid, tough team.
I'm going to go on our left, third row.
Andrea Adelson, ESPN.com, for both ladies. What were they doing just to take you guys out of your game from the three-point line, if anything, defensively? I know you guys were held a little bit below your average there.
Lauren, let's start with you.
Their pressure was really good, especially coming out of the gates. I feel like that was an adjustment for us. We knew it was going to be hard. But they were denying and getting up on everyone. I feel like we settled in a little bit. Our second quarter was a little rough there. We went on a big scoring drought, but that was tough for us.
Tatum.
Yeah, I think just their pressure, and I feel like we missed a couple bunnies early that you could kind of tell that the nerves were there. And so I think once we kind of settled in, it was just knowing who to screen, and I don't think we did a very good job of that.
Take our next question from the second row, slightly in the middle.
Gabe Ibrahim, Jays 24/7. Tatum, when you and Peyton checked out, I think with like 2 minutes left, I don't know if you noticed, but the entire South Carolina bench was clapping. A lot of fans were clapping. It kind of felt like everyone was trying to give you an ovation on the way out. Just how did that feel, and how is that going to create a lasting memory for you?
It's kind of a numbing feeling. Really frustrated, angry that we lost, but also just really joyful that I got to experience all that I got to experience these last 10 days and these last 5 years.
We're going to take our next question from Zoom. Mike, go ahead and give us your name and affiliation and who your question's for.
Maddie Marinas, White and Blue Review. This is for Tatum. Obviously, took a gamble coming back this year to kind of write a better ending for yourself. And I just wondered, if you're able to encapsulate all this year has meant to you, especially with the unprecedented legacy you're going to leave behind because of this run.
Yeah, I think my teammates and I have really just loved every second of this year, celebrating each other, really just getting to live life with each other and coming to practice every single day. There were very few days where every single person didn't show up with a smile on their face, and to be able to do what we did and make it to the Elite Eight, I am so proud of every single person in that locker room. We knew that we were good enough to be here, and we believed that we could be here, and we showed a lot of people that we did deserve to be here.
Any last questions for the student athletes? We'll take another one down here.
So Molly went down with the leg injury like middle of the first quarter, and then it kind of felt like the floodgates opened up for South Carolina. How'd that change the game for you guys?
Go ahead, Lauren.
Yeah, Molly is huge for us. She's super tough on defense, and she's great for us on offense as well. And so when she went down with that, that was obviously tough for us. Honestly, even though it looked pretty bad, there wasn't a doubt in my mind that she would probably end up coming back in the game because that's just the type of player is. She's super tough. But yeah, that definitely hurt us there in the second quarter. But thankfully she was able to come back, and then we were able to string together some possessions and stops.
Tatum.
It really hurt us when she went down. Defensively, she's gritty, she's tough, she gets defensive boards. But like Lauren said, she's the toughest kid I know, and you knew that she was going to come back in the game no matter how much pain she was in, and all the credit to her for that because she didn't give up on us at all.
Another question from right down here in the front.
I guess question for Lauren, as Flan alluded to, it sets the table for some exciting expectations going forward. Obviously, you guys have a tremendous class. How do you feel like this experience the last 10 days can help for the future of the program?
Yeah, it's been a great experience, being able to play in the NCAA tournament and make a deep run. Like you said, we're a young team. Obviously, we're going to miss Tatum's leadership and Peyton and Chloe. It's going to be a tough loss there. But, even though it is tough with this loss and it's going to sting, it's also exciting looking toward the future to see what we can do with this program and how this team can respond for next year because, I know we're probably going to let this one hurt for a little bit, but we'll all be back in the gym soon and be ready for next year.
Tatum and Lauren, congratulations on a great season to you and your teammates. You may head back to the locker room.
Thank you, guys.
Good job.
Let's go ahead and open it up for questions for Coach. We're going to start right here, front and center on our left.
Aaron Beard with the AP. Aaliyah Boston is such a physical presence. Even when she's not got the ball, she just sort of, has her own gravity, I guess, in terms of how you have to defend and have so many bodies around her. How much of an impact do you think she had when, she didn't have a huge line like she did against North Carolina, but she's such a physical presence, especially on the glass?
Right, and when you're paying that much attention to her, you're giving up 6 offensive rebounds to Saxton maybe because you have to come off her body or you're you're just in that position. So yeah, they do a really good job of getting the ball into the middle of the floor and now you've kind of got an either or situation on a duck in and they split our traps. I mean we didn't do a good job of forming a trap that they couldn't split and my regret is that we didn't work on it enough in practice, but obviously when you got one day and you get off the court at whatever time we did, you can't do a lot of live stuff on that middle day, but I thought it was really telling that we weren't where we needed to be, but even if we'd have been better, I don't know. You don't know if it had been that much of a difference maker. I think technically we could have done some things better, but you also don't know how much of a difference that makes because you just don't see that size. I mean, we have a couple practice boys that are probably close, but not quite where she is. But I think it's accumulation of all their bigs. It's not just her. I mean, like I said, Saxton really hurt us. Here hurt us. I mean, they, the other part was we gave up some threes to the shooters in that first half that I thought really hurt us. But yeah, she's tough to deal with.
I'm going to come over here, third row on our left.
Andrea Adelson with ESPN.com. It's obviously hard to simulate that type of size, even with some of those practice players you might have. Once the game begins and you start to see what those matchups are looking like, how do you even begin to try and adjust or account for that?
Well, I yelled at him. Maybe done that before. Yeah, we just seemed a little hesitant. We talked about the angles that we needed to come down to get into a trap, and I just felt like we weren't. We talked about being in a position where we could do it quickly. We had to be off enough to get there, but yeah, I thought we were hesitant. I mean, I should have used more timeouts, but again, we didn't have a lot of prep time, and they'll say, they can say the same thing. I mean, I think we're a reasonably hard team to prepare for on one-day prep, but we didn't get there, and some of it is that it wouldn't have mattered, but I thought we had a better game plan set up than what I witnessed the first half, and that happens sometimes, right? You think you think you've gone over it and told them exactly what they need to do, but again, with one-day prep, I just felt like we were a little erratic in terms of our understanding of where we needed to be and how quickly we needed to get into a trap, and they run enough different things too. It's not always easy to identify that. I thought that was the case as well, but yeah, I thought our defensively we weren't as sharp as we needed to be to give us a chance to kind of stay in the game and kind of maybe get to the point where our offense caught up a little bit.
Take our next question from the second row.
Coach, so it's just a general question, but how are you going to remember this run? What do you think it means to you?
Yeah, it means a lot. I think we had a lot of alums make the trip down here. A lot of them made the trip to Iowa City. I know they had a watch party back in Omaha of alums. So for me, it's about, just seeing how invested everybody who's played for Creighton women's basketball was over the course of his, and I think that as someone who's been at Creighton as long as I have been at Creighton, that's probably the biggest thing that I'm proud of and amazed by, and what makes me, because I've coached so many people who were either here in person or texting or gathering in Omaha, and I think it kind of displays what it meant to them to put a Creighton uniform on, and this team I think represented the best of the best, but I think you also want to think about all those who came before them, because I think they're a part of that legacy too.
Right down here in the very front.
Ellie French with KETV. Flan, you talked about not wanting to let Aaliyah get to the free throw line. She did quite a bit, and so did Saxton and Henderson. Just why do you think that they were able to get there so much?
Sure. Well, I mean, it's a lot of them are second chances where they're just a little bit longer, and when you get a deep post up and you miss, or the post on the opposite block misses. I mean, sometimes you're buried underneath the basket, and length and size is difficult. I mean, we didn't do a great job of peeling back. I mean, we talked about, I said we have to have 5 on the glass every single time they shoot the ball, and we weren't as good as we needed to be there too. So it wasn't just our bigs not being maybe quite physical enough at times. But I mean, some of it was just natural height and strength. Some of it was our bigs not being quite physical enough, and some of it was our guards not being quite committed to dropping down and helping as the shot went up. So, yeah.
Go back over here, second row, or left.
So you mentioned that the expectations change. Want to know a little bit more about that, how you think the expectations change, and how are you going to replace the seniors that are leaving next year as much as you can?
Sure. Well, I think that, it's going to be tough to replace our seniors because they did such a great job of guiding our younger players. And we have some really, obviously our sophomore class is really talented, from a production performance standpoint. They kind of stand out. But I think older players can lift those players up in tough times and times of doubt, and every even really good players doubt themselves at times. And I think our seniors were really good at kind of getting those guys to believe that they're as good as they are, and keeping them in a space where they're positive most of the time. And so, but I think what the success that we had will for sure carry over, and I think leadership lessons carry over too. I mean, I think we talk about culture, and I've told people, from 2008 to 2021, we did not lose a kid to a transfer. Okay, so we've had 2 transfers in 14 years. So when you have, I tell people all the time, when you have junior and senior voices in the locker room, that's really important, because those freshmen and sophomores are going to go through tough times of doubt, times of, am I good enough? School's hard, I'm homesick, all that stuff. But we've always had kids in the locker room who can relate and say, yeah, I know freshman year is tough. And so I think by the time they get to be juniors and seniors, then they understand that that's what they have to do. And I think our younger players will do that. They'll step into that role because they know how much they got helped. And last year, especially obviously with COVID, was a ridiculously difficult freshman year for those kids.
We're going to go next to a question from Zoom. Matt, please feel free to ask your question.
Yeah, Flan, just along that note, I wondered if you would humor me in a long-winded answer just of what Tatum, Peyton, and Chloe have, brought to your program and to this team in particular, and helping it get to a place that I don't imagine that a lot of people thought it could get to.
Matt, did you say you wanted a long-winded answer?
Yes.
Because I'm really good at those, you know that.
Yes, I want.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. Chloe played less this year than any year she's ever played at Creighton, and yet she never was a distraction. She never pouted. She never became any sort of an issue. She accepted it. She came to practice every day. She worked. She made her teammates better, and she was ready when she was called on. So that's a great lesson in unselfishness. And I tell our team all the time, people outside the locker room don't know how important that is, because it is important. And then Peyton had easily the best, season year of her career. I'm really happy for her. She played with so much joy and confidence this year, and I think that allowed her even to become a better leader, because I think when you feel good about where your game is and how much you're having fun, it's really easy to spread that, and I think she did a great job of that. And then Tatum, I just thought her, and I knew this would happen because I felt like she came back for the right reasons. She came back because she wanted to have a great 5th year on the basketball court and lead a younger team, and she was amazing that way. And You know, she's you could, those of you who don't know her or just got to know her these last few days, she's high energy, she's positive, she's a great listener. I know that they like to go to her. So they're all three special, and we're going to miss them all. That wasn't too bad, was it?
No, that was good. Thank you.
And on that note, thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if it does happen, will you like me more? That was the right answer. FYI, comma, I've been told Jane Meyer is on it, period. Hedging. I'd like to thank all my friends in the media, first and foremost. as a reminder, they have to turn in names before the game is over. So just keep that in mind. I'm just saying. I wanted. Oh, agree. Totally. But everybody's. Huh? Well, that's okay. But remember, that can't counter the fact that she's coming now, so I still get. I'd really like to thank my friends in the media first and foremost. Believe South Carolina is en route. I'm very upset about it, but maybe next year you change your number to 1, and then you could move right next to me. I'm sure you'll think about it, give it a lot of thought. All right, it sounds like Coach is going to join us in progress. And so I think I'm getting the nod that it's okay to proceed with the student athletes, which, first of all, congratulations. Let me give quick introductions, then we'll start the Q&A. Joined on the dais by Destiny Henderson, Aaliyah Boston, Victoria Saxton, and Bree Beal. Let's go ahead and take questions. We'll start right over here, second row on the aisle.
If you could each take this, it seemed like there was more of a concerted effort to really drive the ball, play at the rim early on, and kind of knock them back on their heels. Was that the game plan coming in?
Destiny, we're going to start with you and go down the aisle.
I don't think it was really our main focus, but just to, do what, what's working. So I felt like it was really important for the people who wasn't getting pressured to definitely drive because you have so much space. So just to execute and just see what's in front of you.
Aaliyah?
Yeah, I think them people attacking the rim was just solely reading defense, and they did what they needed to do to score.
Victoria?
I just think everybody was just looking at the defense and seeing what was going on. And, like Henny said, just those that aren't getting pressured, they're just going out there and attacking, and that helped, and that's just what they did.
Bree?
Yeah, I definitely think this game, this game, we definitely made adjustments as far as, me and Lily, they're sagging on us. What else could we do, which was, drive to the basket, drive and kick. So I think as a team, we did make some great adjustments.
Third row on our left.
Andrea Adelson, ESPN.com for everybody, and maybe if Aaliyah wants to start. This is obviously a goal that you guys set from the end of last season to get back to this point. How do you feel now that you've accomplished it, knowing there's still a little bit left?
It's exciting, but we just said in the locker room we still have unfinished business, and we still have 2 more games to play.
Victoria?
I agree. I just think that we got to know that we have unfinished business and go out there and do what we got to do to handle it.
Bree?
I think, again, what they said, and just continue to stay level-headed. And, again, we have 2 more games, so keep doing us.
Destiny?
And agree with all 3 of them. I feel like we always say that. But, yeah, just to know that we still have unfinished business, you know, to take in the moment right now and be happy for, you know, how far we've came, but we're not done at the end of the day, and just to, you know, not get too high with the highs and too low with the lows.
Right down here in the very front on our left.
This Aaron Beard with the AP. This is for Aaliyah. First, who was it that jumped in? I guess it was Coach Jamil, maybe, who had jumped in your arms and hugged you on the court, and you were actually holding him up.
Yeah.
Okay. Was it also last year him that held you when you were as emotional as you were with the last shot? Do you remember against Stanford? I think he hugged you on the court.
Yeah, he
Okay.
did.
I was just curious, like some players take motivation differently than others. How much did you sort of think about replaying all those final seconds in your head all year as a motivation to get back to this point, or did you at all?
Yeah, so no, I didn't replay any of that. I think part of growing up and maturing is being able to move on, and so that happened last season, but that's not something that I can continue to think about, or else there won't be any progress. So I've let go of that since last season, and we've moved on.
Take our next question from right down here in front.
Hey, she cute.
My bad.
Mike Huva, Gamecock Central. Guys, going back to obviously even last season, the workouts in the winter, and then being able to get to this point, I'm sure it's extremely draining, and even probably gets sick and tired of talking with us after some of these games and how many media availabilities it is. But getting back to this point, though, you know, how sweet is it to be able to get that victory, to see the confetti come down, to know that this is just one piece of the puzzle to be able to get back to that ultimate goal, to be able to hopefully, you know, get to a national championship?
Bree, let's start with you.
Yes. I think it's just, you know, amazing to see, like, all the work we've put together. We had a few young pieces come in, and just seeing them being able to come in and gel with us and, you know, be great at what they're best at. It's just, you know, it's a cool thing to sit back and watch.
Victoria?
It's exciting just to be able to get back here, and it's exciting to see everybody come in and just take their role upon them and just play it as best as they can, and I think everybody's coming in and doing that.
Aaliyah?
It's been a long season of workouts and stuff, and it's just, we've worked hard. So where we're at, we're very excited about it and can't wait to see what's next.
I feel like it's just well-deserved. I feel like, again, like everybody has stepped up to the plate. We're all happy for each other, and just living in this moment and just being present and just being happy for one another. It's just a blessing, and we came so far, so we're not done yet. And that's just what it is.
Yeah, Annie? All right.
Period. Pooh.
Take our next question from the back left.
Hi, ladies. Congratulations. Jeremy Durst, WYFF TV. Just wondering if you guys have any winter coats, or if you're going to have to go to the store this week. They are calling for a little bit of snow.
Gotta wash clothes.
Just wondering.
I think it's all shorts and tank top weather.
Yeah.
That's what we're packing, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
New clothes?
I'll have my coat on me. Yeah.
No, you're not.
Sounds like you got a very straight answer, so let's go ahead and take our next question from the left, about halfway back.
Yes, hi, Liz Clark from the Washington Post. Congratulations to all of you for what you've achieved. This is for anyone who has an opinion, and it may be that none of you do, but your coach, of course, signed a very impressive contract this fall, this 7-year deal for $22 million. I believe she said, you know, she hoped it would be a benchmark for investment in the game. You guys are not ADs, I understand, but you're young women, and I'm wondering if that said anything to you about what women should expect in the workplace and maybe should demand if it's not offered. Or
Well, Coach Staley is, I mean, what a queen, first of all.
Yeah.
And she's done so much for the game of basketball, and so everything that she's getting, she deserves, and she deserves more. Sorry, just in case anybody's listening, but she really deserves everything that she has coming for her, and I'm just really proud of her, and go get that check, honey.
Anybody else want to chime in?
I would.
Yep.
Just to piggyback off her, I feel like she's done put in the work over the years so many times, and I feel like when you do that, you can demand things and make it happen. I feel like she's in that position to do those things because she's, helped so many people and just brought in and created a family for the University of South Carolina as a whole, and other people around the world who watch her or just watch the game of basketball. I feel like she's done an amazing job from the coaching standpoint and just outside of basketball. So,
take our next question over here on the far left.
Cam Gaskins with ABC Columbia. This is for Aaliyah. I know the winning is the only thing that matters. Your personal accolades come second, but I got to ask, is it bittersweet to see the double-double streak come to an end? Or were you just too focused on winning and celebrating?
We're on to the Final Four, so as the streak ends, it's all right, but we're still playing, so that's all that matters.
We take our next question from fourth row, third in.
Emma Bachelari, Sports Illustrated. With all four of you in double figures, that doesn't happen all the time. What do you think that says about kind of the cohesion of this team and how balanced you are, across the board?
Henny, we'll start with you.
Yeah. Bree, we'll start with you then.
Start with
All right, so.
All right, we're going to go ahead and start with Bree.
It just shows how well we gel together because we've been playing with each other for a while now. But it just shows us going out there, not thinking, just playing freely, just playing off each other, playing with each other. It's just amazing.
Victoria.
I just go back to our roles. I just feel like we're out there playing our role and we're doing what we have to do. And like she said, we gel. So I feel like that plays a big part.
And I think it also shows that everybody's ready to step up at any time. Everybody did a great job scoring. Bree, especially when she was attacking the basket. It's you can't really stop that.
I feel like all of us just being on the same page and just having one goal and keeping the main thing has just made everything a lot more simple for us when everybody's on the same page. So I feel like that's what's been happening with us, and we just got to stay focused.
Question right here in the middle, second row.
Hi, I'm Adler from The Next Hoops. I know in last year's run, y'all were thinking of how Ty and Kiki were robbed of the opportunity a couple years ago. Is that still in your minds during this run?
Destiny?
That's not really something I'm thinking about because, we all got robbed.
Right.
But we are fortunate to be in this position and make it happen for ourselves and also for them because they deserve the opportunity as well. So it's just something that's in the back of our heads, but it's not something that we're trying to get down over ourselves. So
I agree with that. I think it's definitely in the back of our minds, and we know that Ty and Kiki are definitely supporting us through our run right now.
I also agree that it is something in the back of our minds, but we have something else in front of us right now that we have to worry about. So,
yeah, definitely to keep the ball rolling, we got to stay in the present and worry about what's going on right now and what's going on the next day. But yeah, sometimes it crossed my mind. I'm not gonna lie.
Got two more questions. We're going to start back here in the fourth row around the middle.
Lindsay Gibbs with Power Plays. I wanted to ask at the end there, everybody celebrating with a band, everybody coming over and dancing with a band. What was that moment like? And being able to celebrate this with so many fans, it seems like everybody took the time to really savor that moment.
Victoria, we're going to start with you.
It's amazing to just be able to see all of our fans here. Our band, I love our band. They come and bring so much joy to us. They love us. It's just exciting to be able to enjoy this moment with everyone.
Aaliyah?
I agree with that. I think it was just a fun moment, and it's also just adding on to just celebrating each other because we're on to the Final Four, and so just being able to listen to music and show off our dance moves was pretty fun.
I agree. I feel like the energy is really amazing. I feel like that moment is something we can always look back on and just adding on to the memories.
Yeah, I just think it shows the connection, within our community. We really love one another, and they love us, we love them, we love the energy they bring, they get us going, they keep us going. So yeah, it's amazing.
Last question for the student athletes right here in the second row.
Corey Diaz with the USA Today Network for Destiny and Victoria. Obviously, with this being your guys' last time around, I'm just curious if you guys have already maybe felt a little different sense of the mindset heading into this year's Final Four as opposed to last year? And if so, would you mind kind of just expounding a little bit on just kind of what you're feeling mentally at this point?
I feel like last year, is our first time, and this year I feel like we know what it feels like now. So I just feel like just adding on to the leadership and just being leaders on the court and, just making sure everybody else is on the same page. So I just feel like that's just really what it is just the growth, and I feel like we both display that on the court.
I will also say it's just taking in the leadership and being able to lead going into the Final Four, considering we've been there before. I mean, even some of the other girls that's been there before, they can lead from their standpoint. That's all. I just really think that we just need to make sure everybody know what to expect and things like that.
Thank you to all the student athletes. Congratulations on your regional title and good luck.
Thank you.
I'd like to go ahead and let Coach Staley have an opportunity to give an opening statement, and then we'll take questions.
I just want to say that being here in Greensboro and all the people, you walk in the arena, at the hotel, really made us feel special. And I know I'm one that really looks at, and I feel when people are genuinely just happy and inviting and host our tournament. And we felt that every time you walked in the door, there was always a greeting. It was always, how you doing? And that makes me feel really good because it gives our players an incredible student athlete experience. It's not all about the basketball. That's a big part of it, but when you walk into an arena and you feel the love, for everyone that's, that's working here, the yellow coats and everyone, the people at the hotel, the proximity were just incredible, just over the top. And then I'd like to just kind of thank, Creighton. I mean, congratulate them on a tremendous year. Nobody probably had them in their bracket, being in the Elite Eight, first time in their program history. And it is really something to be proud of. I mean, we had a lot of firsts a few years ago, and I hope they hold on to it and come back stronger and move further in the tournament because it only strengthens our game and it helps our game. So congratulations to them. And then I just want to say to our local media who have been just examples of treating our program like a real sport for years, like years. This isn't like, it's just happened. You cover us, you wear your heart in your writings. You wear it, when you're in front of the public on, our local news, and you wear it. We win, you feel it. We lose, you feel it, and we can feel that in how you cover our team, and we really appreciate it for treating us that way, because every program doesn't get what we get, and I value what you do for us, so thank you.
We'll start our questions right over here.
Dawn, thank you for that. Look, this has been a goal all year, and now that you're here, how do you strike the balance between celebrating a hard-won regional title, but also realizing you got business to take care of in Minneapolis?
Yeah, we got a couple days to do it. Our players, celebrated. They'll probably celebrate again. I hope they go to class tomorrow. And then, we got a quick turnaround because I think we leave on Tuesday. So I think we're gonna enjoy it. We don't play until Friday. We'll watch who our opponent will be tomorrow. And it feels good to be the first one to go in and kind of watch everybody else sweat it out. But we're gonna enjoy it. You got some young players who have no clue what it means to go to a Final Four, so we'll probably have to hold them back a little bit because they just don't know the whole excitement of it. And then you got some older players who've been here before, and they have one thing on their mind, and that is to win a national championship. And we do it game by game. But it was pressure packed the entire season, and it's a relief to know that we're back. and now we can settle in and try to get this thing done.
I'm going to go to the fourth row on our aisle.
Augusta Stone with the State Newspaper. Dawn, thank you again, like DC said. I wanted to ask, the junior group that you say call themselves the freshmen still, I wanted to ask about just seeing them advance to their second straight Final Four. What is it in their mindset that you see that maybe has changed between last year and this year, just in terms of maturity and leadership, knowing what to expect at this level?
I feel that particular group has learned how to just embrace the margin of error each and every day, and they practice like it, they play like it, even through our losses. They really understood it, and I think just having the experience of what we had to go through in the Final Four last year, it's helped guide them, but it didn't control them. Like, they were unafraid to make plays or do things out there on the floor. So they're just a year older, with a year, more understanding of how to navigate through it and not get too high with the highs or low with the lows.
Right down here in our very front.
Aaron Beard with the AP. Don, I was going to ask about Aaliyah, just when you talked about pressure packed all year from the minute she started playing the first game this year, everybody looked at her as All-American. And how does she seems pretty much like she's had the right mindset all year. How important has that been both for her and this team?
I think it's truly important. I think when you've had to play under the gun like Aaliyah has all season long, she's mature enough to handle it. She's grounded. She knows who she is, and she never gets out in front of anything. She takes the day as it comes. She takes her play as it comes, and that's just a real good sign of just maturing and knowing who you are, knowing your worth, and knowing that knowing that she's probably the player of the year. And it's hard to play under that gun. I think it also helps that other people have brought up some other candidates for National Player of the Year. Makes her work a little harder and focus in a little bit more, because that's one of the things that she wanted to accomplish.
I'm going to go back here, halfway back on our left.
Grace Rayner with The Athletic. Dawn, from the Kentucky loss 3 weeks ago to this moment tonight, what have you learned about your team?
Well, I've never lost track of who we were. We've always been a really good basketball team through the two losses that we've had, and you have a tendency to lose focus on who you are when you lose a basketball game. And did we enjoy it? No, we didn't enjoy losing 3 weeks ago, but it helped us focus, and we just went back to that margin of error. We didn't, we let it get out of hand in the SEC tournament championship, and Kentucky made us pay for it. But then we had time to regroup, and then find our way to winning 4 games to get back to the Final Four. And I think now we're in a good place to understanding, and there's no other position in the season that we have to be super focused on those things.
Third row over here on our left.
Andrea Adelson, ESPN.com. Don, as a follow-up to what you were talking about with the pressure of getting here, now there's going to be even more pressure to perform in the Final Four, just knowing how badly your players want to win a championship. How do you kind of balance knowing that with trying to keep them loose and not letting that pressure overwhelm them?
We've created habits all season long. And the habits that we've had, I don't think we'll stray too far from it. We got a core group of players who just want to win. So I think they have a really good pulse on our team, and they're able to calm things down when needed, and they also enjoy the moment, just like young people. So it's what we came to do. This year has been one in which we had a target out there. We got a target on our back. We had a target out there to win a national championship, and we put ourselves in this position. And I think they'll, win, lose, or draw, it won't be from not trying as hard as they can.
All the way back on the far left.
Myra Salters, SGTV. Coach Daly, knowing the type of player you were coming out of college and seeing that you almost kind of transferred that same energy to your players, do you hope that your players will transfer that same energy to girls who look up to them and also women who look like you, who hope to coach like you? What message do you have to players and women who want to do what you and your girls do?
I mean, I want our players to be who they are. And I hope that I set an example of sharing, sharing my experiences, my love for the game, my love for the people in the game. And I just hope, and I think they do that. But when we hosted the first and second round of the NCAA tournament, the first four, you don't really realize your impact until you hear other people say things like, I think it was the Incarnate Word, some of their players, really thought it was a big deal to be playing on the court that South Carolina plays on. They thought it was a big deal to just kind of be around, the place that I coach. And, when young people do it, like you hear some older people here and there, but when young people who are competitors say those things, and they're unafraid to say it, like, that's what those young ladies felt. And they laid it on the line, even though we're in a competitive battle. That says a whole lot. That makes me feel truly special, and it helps me understand our worth. Our game, is being watched by young people, young women, and they're admired by the people that's in it. And I just hope that, I hope that our players really understand their impact on our game, and hope they give it back. And they do, without a doubt. They give it back to our fans. They give it back to anybody. They were just so gracious to take pictures with everybody in the arena, no matter if we're gonna get back at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. I mean, that's what it's about, is paying it forward.
Going to try to get to as many as we can, but we've got a question right here in the front.
Mike Yuba, Gamecock Central. Don, I know you saw some of your coaches maybe struggle, with being able to cut the net down. I mean, they've been able to do this a couple times, but the point being is you guys have been able to get here so many times. You guys have been able to do so many great things. But yeah, this is the first time in program history that you guys have been able to reach the Final Four in back-to-back seasons. I know it might not seem like the biggest thing right now because you guys obviously have bigger goals ahead of you, but just knowing how far this program has come to be able to continue to achieve first, even though you guys have been able to achieve so much over the last couple of years, how special is it knowing how far this program has come?
It's huge. It's huge. And Asia Wilson's never been able to do back-to-back Final Four, so she's got to give credit to this to this team. But it's great. I'm just super happy for, I'm super happy for all of our team, but truly super happy for our juniors who experienced 3 years ago where, we had a pretty darn good team that could have gone far in a tournament, and it was just abruptly stopped. And then you're just left holding the bag like, that's it, and then they come back and get us to the Final Four and lose in a heartbreaking way. And then it's hard to get back. Like, our game is so good that, I was nervous all day today. It was a long day on a Sunday, nervous because of who our competition was and just anxious to play, anxious to get back, just so our players can really experience being in the Final Four, our young players, just understanding how hard it is, and also to have them celebrate, something as monumental as getting back there back-to-back.
Next question from right behind.
Dawn, your ladies' ability to accept that target on their back and go out and perform the way they've performed through 34 games so far this year, how much would you say is that a reflection on your personality and your, I guess, embracing of the target on your back that maybe you potentially had while you were a player and now a coach?
I mean, here it is. We're gonna face whatever music that's playing. I guess I have trust in our players. Like, I know them. I know them well. I know the core of them pretty well. So I think with that group, you just have to look at them and look them in the eye and see, where they are. If they're focused, and probably 95% of the time, probably 100% of the time, they've been focused all season long. It's probably the younger ones that have, they don't know. They don't play a whole lot, so they got a whole lot going on in their lives, and they really don't understand how to do it every single day, like to be on. I mean, it's really hard to be on every single day, but we work towards that. It's the very thing that the core group of our team, they came here because of that. They watched us go to Final Fours and win national championships, and they wanted to be in the hot seat like that. So I think it's a product of our culture. It's a product of our coaching staff and our program. All the people in our program, they make this thing work. Like every single person, from our Dobo to our director of play, we're working. Like, we only showed them great examples of working. So, wherever that target is, we just perform under the work that we put in.
Next question, fourth row, partway in the middle.
Emma Bachelari, Sports Illustrated. With the offensive performance you all had tonight, was there any particular adjustment you attribute that to? And what does it mean moving ahead to have had a night where you shot 50% from the field?
Probably the biggest adjustment we made was on the defensive side of the ball. We just really concentrated on whoever had the ball, that we were going to all out pressure them and make them put the ball on the floor. Like, I don't think you can allow Creighton. They did a really good job with us doing that, getting 17 assists on 21 baskets. Like, they averaged 20. They averaged 33s. They averaged like 10 makes. So we had to figure out how to take away something. One of the big things that they do to teams. And then for us, from an offensive standpoint, we knew they were going to crowd Aaliyah, and which would have made it single coverage with our other big. And once they had single coverage, we wanted them to go. And then as the game was going on, they were doubling Aaliyah before she had the ball, when she got the ball, and then it created scoring opportunities for Bree Bill and Lily and some of our other guards, and Henny. Once we have single coverage, and we know that they're not going to rotate over because they're going to lean heavy on keeping two people on Aaliyah, it made it a lot easier for us to make decisions and make baskets.
Next question, all the way over on the left.
Matt Dowell, watch Fox out of Columbia. Dawn, there's been so many great post players over the years, and I know Aaliyah said that she doesn't care that the streak is over, but for you, what's it been like to watch her on this double-double streak, as she has shattered the program record? She shattered Sylvia Fowles' record. What's it been like to watch as her coach?
This is what she's supposed to do. Seriously, like that's what she's supposed to do. I think she's a great talent. I think it goes to show how relentless she is. She's really a relentless player, a relentless rebounder. But when it's all said and done, Aaliyah just wants to win. So she's going to do the things to win basketball games. And it's fortunate for us, she did it in a double-double fashion.
Next question right here, middle.
Hi. So going off the question that Lindsay Gibbs had asked before about the celebration with the band, I'd also noticed before the game you were giving fist bumps to everyone in the game day ops row, and then yesterday during the Iowa State Creighton game, you were saying hi to fans who wanted your attention when you could have been scouting. I was just wondering where that attentiveness and commitment to just finding time for people comes from.
It comes from coaching in Columbia, South Carolina for 14 years. Like, We give our fans access to us, and in return, you know, we lead the nation in attendance for, I don't know, 8 years now, 7, 8 years. I mean, it's people. I'm really conscious of people spending their money, budgeting to come to Greensboro. Some people already had their plane tickets to Minnesota, and they would tell us throughout the year, and it's like, I mean, let's take it one game at a time. But I'm just happy that they choose our program to spend their money, to bring their families in. It takes a second to take a picture, and a second to give them just a memory, an experience. And you know, one of our fams told me, his grandmother told him, when you treat people good, they treat you better. And that's what the fams have done in Columbia, South Carolina, in supporting us.
2 last questions, and we appreciate your time. Right over here on the left, 4th row.
Hi, Dawn Remy with the New York Times. Given that there are fewer concerns this year about the tournament with gender equity issues, what do you think is the next move for the NCAA to make?
Somebody asked that question. It's units. It's being able to, you know, get, you know, similar, you know. I mean, I guess equity, like CBS, TBS, TNT, True TV, right? That's men's tournament. So when we're able to market ourselves in that way, that's a lot of dollar signs. You know, when you're able to be on all of those networks. And I'm not saying anything against ESPN, which they do a great job at putting our game forward. But let's make it competitive. Let somebody bid out our tournament, and maybe we'll have a few more networks to show our games. And then maybe, just maybe, and I'm just gonna throw this out there, we're playing at 7 and 9 on a Sunday night. I wonder why. Well, maybe because the men played at 2 and 5. And I know we're good. I think the men, whether they played at 7 and 9 tonight, would have had a packed house. Doesn't matter. If we played a little bit early, maybe we had some more people in the stands, and they did a great job at filling this arena up. But it's just little things like that make a huge difference. And I'm not trying to start any controversy, but units. You know, our game can be a game in which is valuable, like in terms of dollars and cents. And once we're able to get there, we'll find our true value.
Last question right here, 4th row.
Lindsay Gibbs, Power Plays. Coach, you've been here, you've been to the Final Four before. You're very open about this isn't the final decision, but as you're putting that confetti into your hoodie, as you're savoring those moments, what's going through your mind, and why is it important to really feel that confetti?
I mean, it's important because, you know, we are dream merchants for young people. The young people on our team, they want to win. They want to win. They want to go to Final Fours. They want to win national championships. They want to win SEC tournament championships, SEC regular season champions. They want to win the Bad Boy Mo's championship in the Bahamas. They want to do all of that. And we are creating, you know, lifelong memories. And I think confetti is just a tangible thing as reminders of what you have accomplished. And I've been a confetti collector for every championship that we've had, and it is just a constant reminder of going to get it, creating these great experiences for our players and our coaches and everybody in our program, because we work really hard, and it's really hard to get to a Final Four. Really hard. So I'm just happy that we're able to do it, and I'll keep collecting it.
Congratulations again and best of luck.
Thank you.
That concludes our press conferences here at the Greensboro Regional. Thanks to everyone for being here.